Welcome to Petals from the Past, Nursery and Farm. I'm Arlie Powell, and my discussion today has to do with a renovation of a damaged fig orchard. I'm standing beside some varieties that we've grown for a number of times, and I can see a brown turkey that was frozen to the ground. The one I'm standing by here is the Alma variety out of Texas. But what I wanted to show you is what they're capable of doing. Even though they froze to the ground, they still have, if you notice on this shoot here, fruits coming, so that these fruits, although they should be ripe now, or close to now, they will be ripe later in the summer, perhaps September, late September, early October. That's what happens when they freeze to the ground. We had 8 degrees in this orchard one morning, 10 degrees another morning 2 days later. It lowered the boom on some of the varieties, as I mentioned. On the Alma, on brown turkey, on Italian black, as examples of the damage level. Our Celeste came through the damage much better. LSU Purple did, the lemon variety. But what I wanted to show you is some of the things that we do here when we lose a plant to redesign that plant. If you'll notice, I've got bamboos, 8 bamboos on this little tree. I'm going to train 8 of these new shoots coming up from the base to give me new additional framework that we can reconstruct this plant such that next year it will be much, much bigger and can fruit much more heavily. But one of the points I wanted to make with you is generally most varieties have the ability, even when frozen to the ground, to come back and fruit. The only problem is some of them fruit late. So you may have that first frost before some varieties are able to mature those late fruit. But basically, this is a shoot coming up. It will be one of our trunks for this plant. I start, if you counted the bamboos, you'll count 8. I start with about 7 or 8 of these, then I gradually, over a year or two, take it down to about 5 or 6 good trunks. Some people call them scaffold branches. They're basically trunks coming out of the crown of the plant. And this is what I do. These are tied. I put these bamboos in at an angle. They're tied to it to keep them growing in the direction we want. Then I simply come into the center of the plant, just take some hand shears, and I simply take shoots out like you see in my hand. These shoots, we propagate these, so we use these for propagation. That's how we grow our fig varieties. We use stem cuttings. But I will continue to come in and take these out. As you see in the process, I'm leaving some foliage in the center so nothing gets sunburned. But gradually, we're putting all the growth into these 8 scaffolds. And then, over a year or two, I'll reduce these 8 to about 5 or 6. But this is one way. If you do nothing, they tend to all grow straight up. What you want to do is you want to give that new trunk maybe about a 45 to a 60 degree angle coming out. You don't want to get it too low, but you want it just about what you see right here. If you do that, you can reconstruct a frozen fig relatively easy, and this is a wonderful plant in your landscape or home garden.